I would love to order online and I can literally just sit on my couch and click buttons.
Enjoy your bruised bananas.
There's so many women that tell me, like, I don't want to do all the housework or I don't like to cook. And they think they're somehow going to be doomed to a life of doing things that they hate.
I said, I would help you out with everything you wouldn't want to do that you thought you had to do as a wife, except for this.
Welcome to the Marriage Magnet podcast, where it's not just about attracting the one, it's about becoming the one. I'm your host, Nechama Phillips, and here we focus on growth, high standards, and creating an intentional life and love through self-development. Navigate your dating journey and beyond with clarity, confidence, joy, and ease, because marriage is not just a box you check off, it's your life. Subscribe or follow the show for bi-weekly episodes packed with value to help you have a better dating experience and marriage. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Marriage Magnet podcast. I am excited to have my husband Yehuda here in the studio again. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back.
Today, or tonight rather, because it is 7:46 p.m., we will be talking about our unspoken rules in our marriage. So we decided to do this trend, and I asked him to do it with me. We put it on Instagram, and it kind of blew up a little bit, kind of went viral.
Yeah, and so viral, people are even making fun of it in their own reels, which were not as viral. And I did not watch them yet, but I will.
So how do you know all this information?
People sent it to me and were like, "Hey, look, your reel you were on someone else's page." I was like, nice.
Yeah, so I don't know why. I mean, you tell me, I guess, why you think it went so viral. There was a lot of love, and then there was also a sprinkle of hate, like there always is with social media these days. People taking literally 5 seconds of me talking about something in our marriage or something that we do in our lives, and then making 10 more assumptions and then commenting how upset they are about the assumptions they made. Mm-hmm. It's a really interesting thing to see what happens when your posts don't just reach your little community. But overall, there was a ton of love. People were just like, more, share with us more. And I think, I don't know, at least my perspective is people are fascinated to see how people operate in relationships, especially if it sounds a little bit more unique. But honestly, I think everyone's dynamic is unique. It's just...
People like to see how they relate.
Yeah.
Either they can feel validated or vindicated, depending on which rule it is. And yeah, it feels good. And it's also interesting to see other people's dynamics, and you can kind of get perspective, especially if you have a really unique situation and then you see someone else's unique situation. You're like, different strokes for different folks. Yeah.
It's funny how there are certain ones, like when I was saying, well, yeah, this was one of yours actually, which we'll get to, of me not entering the garage. I'm always... anything in the garage I ask him to get, even if I'm fully capable of going. It's not like if it's too heavy or anything.
We're getting started.
I know I said I'm referring to one of them, which we'll get to later. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so someone was commenting oh my gosh, totally. It's a rule. Women do not go into the garage. Duh, I do the same in my marriage. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. She gets it. So it's funny how certain ones people are like, oh my gosh, totally. We relate so much. And then certain ones are interesting.
I don't even have a garage.
Not necessarily in that practicality, but there seemed to be a lot of hype on my laundry. Hey, quick interruption to let you know I'm creating a brand new self-guided course for religious single women dating for marriage and struggling with finding the balance of chemistry and compatibility in their dating lives. If you find yourself frustrated that you only seem to find chemistry in guys who are not marriage material, or compatibility with guys who are good on paper but there's literally no spark, I'm telling you, you can find both and you deserve both. We just need to fix the attraction misalignment so you can date men who have the values you need and the chemistry for a healthy, happy relationship. My Aligned Attraction course will be available soon. Jump on the waitlist to get first access and special pricing. The link is in the description or show notes below. Now back to the episode. That's what people were roasting the most. That you're starting the laundry, and I was saying that I fold all the laundry, and as if this is so odd. I don't know. It was very fascinating to me what people found interesting and what they kind of glossed over. Because certain ones I would think that would bring up more controversy. But yeah, we'll get into them, and we'll just do a little bit of an expanded version. So if you did our unspoken rules reels, there is part 1 and part 2. This will just be a little bit more of an in-depth version, and hopefully, yeah, I want this episode in a fun way. It's fun and it's entertaining to see what people's dynamic is, but I hope that it's helpful as well. If you're single and just trying to get a feel of I know there's so many women that tell me I don't want to do all the housework, or I'm not such a domestic person, or I don't like to cook, and they think they're somehow going to be doomed to a life of doing things that they hate. And I just think it doesn't have to be that way. And I think that we are a really great example of creating our own dynamic that works for us, even if it doesn't seem conventional by other people's standards.
And if you're resisting getting married, even unconsciously, because you think you have to be doing things you don't want to do, don't do that.
Totally. For sure. That could be a hidden way of pushing things away where you're like, I don't know if I really want that life or what I think comes with that life. For sure. That's actually a really great point. I feel like I hear that a lot from women. I definitely felt that way to some degree. I remember telling Rabbi Smith, my rabbi, like,
where do you think I got it from?
I don't know if I ever told you that.
No, but I can tell.
You can sense.
I can tell you would have been doing that if I hadn't been so good at doing things that you didn't want to do.
If you hadn't been good at
Your
reassuring
reaction,
me that
right.
it's totally fine that I don't like to cook and do things
I
in the
saw
house.
how happy you were with that, so I figured.
Reverse engineer.
Yeah.
Exactly. I did tell Rabbi Smith, I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm ready to get married because I don't want to do all of these things I'm not interested in being someone's like house cleaner and cooking meals for them every day. And like, he's like, well, who said that's what you have to do? Like, you create your own rules in your marriage. And so that's what we did.
Exactly.
Okay.
So let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's dive right in.
You tell me, start with
Check my
one.
list. Check out my cool phone case.
It is very cool. Hey, quick interruption to let you know that the doors to the Marriage Magnet Method program are opening soon. If you're a single woman who's dating for marriage, this space was created and designed perfectly for you to accelerate your dating journey, but not just for the results of marriage that we're hoping for, to have a better experience and a better you along the way towards your dreams. This 3-month program will help you become a magnet to attract the right guy for you for the marriage that you deserve. Learn more about the program in the description and show notes below. This is the investment for ultimate marriage readiness and knowing you'll make a decision clearly, intentionally, and wholeheartedly to start your next chapter. Don't wait another minute. Doing this work now will not only create the capacity in yourself for a healthy, happy marriage, but will impact your children and generations to come. This is the best place for single women right now who are wanting more for themselves out of life and love. If you know that's you, book a free consultation call with me to apply, and I'm looking forward to meeting you. Okay, back to the episode.
Normally don't pull.
Well, I'm going to try this orange poppy, even though contrary to everybody's obsession, I just don't really love them. But I never tried orange, so I will give this one a chance. Okay, that's going to have to be cut out.
Don't cut that.
Anywho, are you starting or am I?
Delicious and healthy.
Honestly, it's not as bad as the other flavors because it a little bit tastes like Fanta.
Well, you could literally put
more
orange
than
juice
other
in
like
it,
the
so
Coke one. I'm sorry, like you can't even compare to
we
Coke.
just bought a few more cases of that.
Of the Coke
It
one.
was on sale. I like it.
It's not good.
Anywho, unspoken rules in the Phillips family marriage household. I had them split up between like practical versus more like relationship, philosophical.
You were so organized. First, I was like, can you create... First, I said, can we do an unspoken rules reel? And I was thinking that we were actually going to like have a quick conversation and discuss them and then share them in the reel. But you were like, no, let's do it separately. You got all into it. You said, let's do it separately, and then it will be a surprise for each other.
Come up with them separately.
Yeah, come up with them separately. And then after you had that idea, you were like, wait, I don't want to come up. I don't know if I could come up with them. I don't know. I can't think of it now. And this. And then all of a sudden he has a whole list. And he's like, I got it. Got a master list. So.
Got the list. Anyways, but I think it was skewed in each reel because I read them in order with the practical ones first. So it seemed like I was doing all these practical things.
I was thinking that's why the first one went viral, because you were like, yeah. I take out the garbage. I do this. I do. And they're like, what does she do? Like, does she just fold laundry? That's basically what the main comment was.
Right. So that caused that.
Which, yes, you do a lot of the practical stuff in the house at this particular point in our marriage, in this particular season, I would say in the past like 6 months to a year. Like, there's so many factors that change the way that we operate based on the stage of life that we're in and the jobs that we have or don't have, or like what is going on. Yeah. So it's just really funny because you were listing all the practical things and they're like, this doesn't make sense to me.
Yes. All right, we'll start practical. Take the garbage and recycling from the house to the cans, to the street, to the
It's
street,
hilarious,
to the
by
house.
the way, that you're saying it in the exact same way that you said it before. You're saying the exact
I do
same.
everything intentionally in my life.
Well, thank you for taking out the garbage and the recycling. And people were saying kudos to you that you recycle, and they were like harping on that point also, which was also funny to me. They were like, I'm like, that's the point they picked up. They're like, wow, what a great guy, he's recycling. I'm like,
something for everyone.
Really?
Anyways, getting anything from the garage, as we said.
Oh, you're listing all the practical ones now?
Yeah, I'm just going through it.
List all the practical. No, list all the practical. I don't have it broken down in that way, but you should just list them.
All right, and again, if you plan to stop watching after I list these practical things, don't think that I just do everything and then make jokes about it because someone already did that. Restocking the paper goods from the, like the bulk Costco size bags into the shelf. Maybe
I also do
you'll add some forks, but I do it mostly.
The replenishing.
I also buy them and restock them, and I'm on top of it. And
yes, that is your mental burden of really honestly every diapers.
What I was about to say,
just every house, all the household items, because
all
you
the
love to shop in stores, which
shopping.
Also we have to say is the word caveat, disclaimer, whatever you want to say. I would love to order online, and this has been a little argument of ours for years.
She thinks she would love to order online.
I can literally just sit on my couch and click buttons and order the things that we need. I have no problem doing that.
Enjoy your bruised bananas, huh?
He is saying he needs to pick everything himself. It needs to be perfect quality. He needs to have a say in everything. He needs to look at all the options. And that's why when he goes to Costco, it takes a minimum of 2.5 hours. And so it's actually very convenient if I want time alone in the house and I just need to take care of things. He can take the kids to Costco. Apparently they sing in the cart and he's just walking up and down the aisles for literally 2 hours. And the kids are brightening up.
Better singing than screaming. That's my rule.
They're brightening up people's lives, and I get a lot of time to get things done because you do take so long. But the point is, he loves to go in-store shopping, and so because it's something that you love to do,
it's an experience,
and you love anything like grocery shopping, household item shopping, all shopping you want to do in person, which is actually not so common for today's
anything.
Anything he wants to be in there. With the restaurant, I'm like, can we just get the takeout and go
literal
home?
Definition of introvert versus extrovert here.
Yeah, that is true.
Not surprised. It makes a lot of sense.
I don't know if all extroverts love grocery shopping, though. I feel like that's its own special category of...
An introvert would say that.
You think so?
I think so.
You think all extroverts
I think we're going to have to let the comments decide. Bum-ba-da-bum.
Well, anyway, he likes to go in-store to everything. And so therefore, I'm like, listen, the way that I would take care of this if it was my mental burden, mental load, I would just order online. But because he actually really enjoys going in person, does not see a life without going into stores in person to get everything you need. So I'm like, sure. So then take care of that. Let that be your thing.
Maybe one day where it doesn't matter, but it matters to me still.
How will one day it won't matter? What's going to change? Because I think you can save, I'm just petitioning here. We could save a ton of time. Why are you spending hours and hours a week in stores when you could be doing other things with those hours? That's what today's world conveniences are for. We get to, it's like I'm explaining technology to you.
No, I understand.
We could just order with the click of a button on our phones.
It's part of the experience, and I can't even know what I want until I can see it and
right, it helps you think about what you want,
and assess it and appraise it and decide if I want to get the most bang for my buck. Yeah, listen, you're uncovering some deep psychological things that
we don't have time for in this
episode. You're going to get very tangled in. I usually do the cooking 95% of the time, but she'll do the baking 99% of the time. I did just make a handful of pumpkin pies for Thanksgiving. Came out amazing, obviously, of course. I'm thinking of making another batch because I didn't get to bring home leftovers. That's what happens when you go to someone else.
Yeah, we were having a really large Friendsgiving meal. You made 4 of them, but 2 of them were gluten-free. And, of course, the ones that were gluten got polished off in 2 seconds, and the gluten-free ones, there was some leftovers.
But it's just the
but
crust.
You wouldn't want that one anyway. You like the crust.
No, but I'm saying the crust is the only thing that was different. It was the same innards.
Yeah, but anyone who wasn't gluten-free wasn't taking from there. And innards is a really weird word for pumpkin pie.
What?
Innards is a really weird word for pumpkin pie.
Yeah, but people could have easily been taking the other pie. I don't know. It's not that different. And I think they're just prejudiced because they think gluten-free is worse. And it is.
It is.
But anyway,
the actual pie is the same.
We are way into pie talk here. Backing it up a little bit, I pay the bills, rent, utilities, credit cards, whatever it is.
It's actually really funny how there are certain things we do in our marriage now that we're talking about it in this way of there's certain things that are so classic, like, oh, the man pays the bills. Like, and I'm thinking, yeah, I don't, yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't even want it. You think I want to open these emails? It gives me anxiety. I have no interest. I'm not going to open bills and pay them. Like, I'll just let them be overdue and then wonder why my lights are off, that. Or my insurance is not there, or like, that's literally how I work. I'm a very type B person anyway.
I work like that too, but instead of letting the deadline pass, I wait till the last minute and then actually take care of it.
I don't even know when the deadline is. That's how far gone I am.
You're afraid of it. You don't.
It gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
So he does all the like traditional things in that sense of like paying the bills, but then also we are so not traditional in like almost every other way. As
you will find out if you keep watching. I like to be the driver 98% of the time.
Yeah, that's because you don't let me, and I love driving.
Rule. We're not going to talk about that.
But it is, right. It is an unspoken rule that when we walk towards the car, you are going in the driver's seat.
And
usually
pumper,
opening my car door.
And gas pumper 100% of the time.
Oh, yeah. There's no way I'm going to do that.
So if you're not going to pump your gas, then you're not going to drive. Unless I let you.
You go pump my gas and put it in my car, and then I can drive wherever I need to drive on my own.
Unless I'm in the car 98% of the time.
Yeah, if we're in the car together, you are driving because you like driving, but I am like more efficient. Sometimes. That's up for debate.
Neither of us like cleaning, but we each do what we feel most able to do and then hire someone for the rest.
Yeah, what does that mean when you're like, we each... Because I couldn't ask you these questions when we were doing the reel. What do you mean we each do what we're able to do? That's so vague.
Like, if you really want to get like a full floor to ceiling, head to toe done, you got to hire someone.
We don't really do deep cleaning is what you're saying.
Like, we'll spot clean. So
occasionally you take out the Swiffer.
Yeah, we do what we're able when we're able. You get it.
Yeah. No, I do.
We'll clean a toilet. We'll hire someone to do that if we can. Meaning if we do have a cleaning,
usually a cleaning lady that comes once a month or sometimes even every 3 weeks if needed, to do like a really deep clean of the entire house. And then everything else where you kind of just manage by...
Right.
Yeah.
But basically, I said, I would help you out with everything you wouldn't want to do that you thought you had to do as a wife, except for this. So this is like cleaning the house is kind of the one thing we both struggle in.
He does so much else in the house that I'm like, listen, if that's the thing that like we're just gonna most like outsource, or I'll just do whatever comes naturally to me.
But we're growing together as people, as individuals, as a couple, and we're getting better at cleaning and habits and things like that. So it's not a lost cause. And
it's kind of a lost cause. We are very type B, and our house shows it.
There are things you thought you would never want to do, or you were like so against and resisting, and now you do it. You do so many things.
Yeah. No, I've gotten so much better at
You're rising to the occasion. You're redefining yourself from a little girl living in your parents' house, a princess, and now you are a queen of your kingdom, and you sometimes need to
clean that kingdom. The kingdom floors.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Well, with cleaning, I've definitely just like started enjoying keeping my space clean more. So instead of like forcing myself to do it, I actually want to do it more, and I take pride in like keeping things more organized and clean. Cleaner and more organized than it used to be. And then with cooking and baking, I've come a long way. But it happens to be, it is true with the cooking. My cooking has gone down as I've gotten busier with work, versus my baking has gone up because I've just been enjoying like exploring it as a hobby, and I kind of like use baking as like a therapeutic thing. So like I'll just like spend time baking because I want to bake, and then he'll do like the actual practical cooking of like making dinners. It used to be I made dinner like once or twice a week. Like it wasn't a ratio of like 95% to 5%. It was more of like a 70-30 or...
But that was because you advocated for yourself to be allowed to cook dinner sometimes.
True. Originally, he didn't want me to because he likes to do it himself.
Now you don't push for it as much, so I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, I'm like, well, if you're happy to do it, I'm happy to not do it because I don't even want to do it.
How would you like it if I said, I'm making challah this week?
I wouldn't be so opposed. I think challah is not as...
Well, I need it.
Like, I like to try. Like, I just made the cinnamon rolls for... It wasn't even for Thanksgiving. It was before then.
Couple times.
I did the non-dairy and then the dairy, and that was just really fun to like try a new recipe, something that was like completely from scratch, that I've tasted a lot of like store-bought versions, and I wanted to see if like I can make like a really yummy, still have to tweak it a tiny bit. I think it was really good, but I have very high standards and I want it to be perfect. But yeah, for me, like that's fun to try versus I have no interest in having the burden of making dinner every night when like my mind is consumed with like work and with just like I want to be with the kids and think of like their needs and think of us as a couple. Speaking of, we didn't give our life update for what's been going on for us personally, because I was just thinking of us as a couple. I advocated for us finally to do ballroom dancing lessons, which I wanted to do since we met, or I guess since we got married. And we finally started taking private lessons, so it's been fun.
I'm a natural.
Stepping on my toes. Yeah.
You're stepping on my toes.
So like these are the things that are consuming my mind more of like I want to make our life better in all of these ways versus like I don't want to like be thinking of what should I make for dinner. Like that just does not excite me.
To each their own.
Yeah, so I'm glad you enjoy it.
Oh, I do. I mean, I like eating.
Yeah, I like eating too, but I don't like cooking it as much. If I had nothing to do all day, like maybe I wouldn't mind like experimenting and getting better at cooking, but
interesting.
That's not the case.
I don't think you'll ever have nothing to do all day.
Exactly. I'll always fill it with other things because I care about other things way more.
Me too, including eating. So that's the end of my practical list at the moment. Other more relationship philosophy kind of things.
I'll say my practical ones, which was basically the laundry that Yehuda always starts the loads. And I was actually thinking about, and I wanted to share in this podcast, speaking of like different roles with men and women and just like the things that are expectations, like if in this reel we would have like said all of these things and it was me speaking on the side of the practicality where I was like, yeah, so I'm the one who does the laundry and I do the cooking and I do the cleaning, people literally would have, first of all, accepted the fact that like, oh, that's so expected that she's doing that. They wouldn't have even questioned me of like, nobody would have said, why is she doing everything? They would be like, duh, the woman does everything. That's just how it is. So it's interesting that if it was reversed, I don't think people would have like batted an eye. And at the same time, I think people still would have commented something like, well, we really should get the men to help more and men should have more, you know, like they would have thought it was normal for me to do all that work, but they also would have like, on like the feminist side, quote unquote, would have like complained that why aren't you helping more? Why aren't you? So it's like you really can't get it right in the eyes of the world for sure, because they would always have an issue, right? Based on what they were seeing, because either one would pose a problem.
I don't think either one would pose a problem to everyone. I think different people have different opinions.
Yeah, the other people would,
right.
would have
there were
the
people who
opinion.
like this and there are people who like that, and yeah, just choose what works for you. I don't think there's a problem. Like, is it really bothering someone? Is it affecting someone else? Do they feel threatened that maybe their way, if we're advocating for one way, that their way is like they're going to be forced to help with the laundry and cooking because we're saying it's the right thing? Maybe they're feeling threatened.
Yeah,
I don't know.
If men think
if they're complaining about the fact that we're saying that's our unspoken rule, I don't know. It's might be a little bit of a projection.
People were saying things about you that were very not nice. That, you know, just like that you're doing too much basically in the house. And like, I can't even like repeat what they said because it's just like, anyway. I
have to go look.
Yeah, so that is totally a projection because they are thinking like, well, I'm a man. I would never do laundry even if my wife wanted me to because I don't do those things. But I was thinking back to when I was younger because I was trying to think like what, in my parents' relationship, my mother did all the housework and all the cooking and all the cleaning with cleaning lady help. Hey, quick interruption to let you know that the doors to the Marriage Magnet Method program are opening soon. If you're a single woman who's dating for marriage, this space was created and designed perfectly for you to accelerate your dating journey, but not just for the results of marriage that we're hoping for, to have a better experience and a better you along the way towards your dreams. This 3-month program will help you become a magnet to attract the right guy for you for the marriage that you deserve. Learn more about the program in the description and show notes below. This is the investment for ultimate marriage readiness and knowing you'll make a decision clearly and intentionally and wholeheartedly to start your next chapter. Don't wait another minute. Doing this work now will not only create the capacity in yourself for a healthy, happy marriage, but will impact your children and generations to come. This is the best place for single women right now who are wanting more for themselves out of life and love. If you know that's you, book a free consultation call with me to apply, and I'm looking forward to meeting you. Okay, back to the episode. But my father definitely was more I hate using the word involved because it's like funny that you would have to be involved with your own children as if that's like, oh, like a thing you have to say. But my father was definitely like hands-on more than other fathers, I guess, in that generation. But I grew up with like the pretty stereotypical relationship. My mother was not working outside of the home, right? And Traditional, yeah. But it's interesting because I had a really good friend when I was in 8th grade and then up and through high school. And in her house, and we were like best friends. We had sleepovers all the time, and I was always at her house. I went on family trips with them. Like we were really, really close. And her father actually worked like a corporate job, like and her mother didn't work. And he did the laundry. And I remember thinking it was so weird. I remember, and especially like when you're in 8th grade, how old is that? Like 12, 13? I came home and just like, I don't know, it was just like so odd. I'm like, I literally cannot picture my father like walking into the laundry room. Like I just can't. Like, and he would come home from his, like, he worked in Manhattan, came home from his like really big job and would, and it's actually really cool because as I've grown up, I've seen their relationship in a different light. When I was younger, it was just like, oh, wow, interesting. This household works very differently than mine does. But just looking back now as an adult, it's like he actually like was working outside of the home and then came home and helped as much as possible and like let her relax. I remember just like their dynamic is like resurfacing to my mind. And if my friend who's listening knows, she'll know that it's about her and her parents. Yeah, they're awesome. Like I feel like she was working inside the home and she was raising, I think they have 7 kids. So she was obviously very, busy. It's really cool to see looking back as an adult that like they had this kind of dynamic where like he came home from working outside of the home all day and then was like so loving and happy to like take off every burden that he could from her plate. And just like seeing their dynamic now in a different light because I've grown up is just really interesting. And I think that was inspiring for me on some level when I was younger, even if I didn't really know it yet, because I think that normalized it enough in my brain to see that like you don't have to do what's expected or what people like, what societal expectations are. Like you could do what works for you. And if you have a relationship where you love each other and you talk about the things that are hard for you or that, you know, you don't want to be doing this, you want to be doing this, this is like, and just act and make your own like rules and your own dynamic. I think like that was probably my first example of that. So all that long-winded story to say that you do half the laundry and I do the other half, basically. And people were fascinatingly trying to understand who switches the load, because we only mentioned that you start the load and I fold and put away all the laundry. So they're like, who switches the load?
Usually me. Mostly me. Yeah.
Just for everyone's curiosity, make sure you have the answer. Okay, and then other practical, I was saying that you always get me flowers, and it was so funny because in the reel I said you almost always get me flowers because I'm so honest, like to a fault sometimes, where I don't like to say there's always flowers in the vase, fresh flowers in the vase, because there have been times that there have been gaps between the flowers, fresh flowers, then them going in the garbage and then new ones being there. So I didn't want to say there's always flowers when there's not always. I wanted to say there's almost always because I like to be like 100% honest. That's just like me. So then people in the comments were like, oh, she's so mad that it's almost always and not always.
It's actually intentionally almost always.
I know, but it's just
I don't want it to be always.
It's so funny what people like think of it. Like, what? It was just so odd.
No, but if it was always, then you would just be so used to it. But if it's almost always, then the times where there's no flowers make the new flowers that much better. So that's why I try and like mix it up.
It's basically like Nida, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's flowers.
If you know, you know.
Sometimes there's rotting flowers.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah. Okay, practical. I was also saying that you wake up Shabbos morning with the kids and let me sleep in, which people were like, what do you mean? He doesn't go to shul? Or so then we had to explain he does go to shul, but he anyway goes
eventually.
He goes late anyway. So he lets me sleep until the point of like that he's ready to go. And that's the only morning that I really, because my brain is switched off, because I have no like work stuff going on and nothing to think about, I actually can I can wake up and then I can fall back asleep and I'm just like very at peace. And so that's the morning that I could fall back asleep. Other mornings I really have a hard time falling back asleep, even if he, I was super tired and I was like, can you take the kids and, let me fall back asleep? I usually can't fall back asleep. When I was newly postpartum, I was able to because I was exhausted. But so yeah, he does that every...
Well, when we only had one kid, then I would go to shul straight. I would just leave the shul with her pretty early.
True. When I was pregnant and when we moved into this house and I was pregnant, when we moved here to Vegas.
I would go earlier because we were up and you weren't. And I was like, okay,
and there
let's
was
go
like
to
a
shul.
kids program at the shul. So he just took her. Yeah. And I could sleep until 11 or 12 whenever you came back.
But
now that's not the case.
But then when we had Leora and she can't sleep in. I mean, she can't
there
come
were
to
so
shul.
many phases, which is also why we were saying in the beginning,
things.
There's so many stages. Every few months, our lives change and we have to readjust like what we do. So everything is changing. In the beginning, when I was postpartum, I needed to like nurse Leora. Like it's not like I would have been able to go back to sleep. It's just everything keeps changing. Every few months we reevaluate. Oh, that's what I was going to say, is that people were saying it's not unspoken if you're speaking it out loud. I'm like, hello, we're just speaking it out loud.
Those people don't understand that.
For the real. Do you not understand that? Do I have to explain everything? Anyway, that was that. The flowers. Okay. Another practical is that I am in charge of the girls' clothing and I am doing a pretty terrible job at it because now there's clothing all over the living room because I'm just trying to organize. Every single second they change sizes. It's like winter 2T, summer 2T, winter, like the summer 18 months. No, the winter 18 months still could fit for like fall, but it gets very confusing.
Also, we're getting so many bags full of community hand-me-downs.
Some of my friends have been sending bags, like they have girls that outgrew things, and so they're giving me these bags, and I'm like, sure, I'm looking through, I'm picking what I like, and then making new bags to give away so we can donate. Like, so there's just been a lot to go through.
We recycle clothing as well.
Yes, 100%. There's absolutely no reason why we should buy so many kids' clothing when literally we all, like these little girls that are all in the community that are like every 6 months they need something else, and like why not just wear what she has? Like I don't know how they keep
their clothes so clean though, because the second we get it, I don't think we can pass it on anymore.
We've passed on things.
Really?
I've donated things. Yeah.
A lot of the stuff we have gets destroyed for some reason. Our kids are messy.
Well, certain things I am saving for the next kid, and like Leora wore it out more than Adel Menucha.
She does. That's what I'm saying. She destroys her clothes somehow.
Yeah. But I have saved things. I have donated things, and then at this point, it's getting a lot with two little kids that keep changing sizes. So I am trying my best to keep things organized, but I am usually more on top of like knowing what they need for what season and when, and like I am doing it more than he is doing it. But like I said, we're both type B. Anyway,
artists.
Yes.
Okay, this is going to be a little.
What?
A little controversial now. So we don't buy expensive things without discussing first, but we do trust each other to be responsible with smaller purchases and don't always need to discuss.
It's not a smaller purchase. He just bought something that we had an argument about,
borderline.
So that's what he's bringing up.
It's
that's what he's referring to.
Inflation. Small purchases ain't what they used to be. Anyways.
Yeah. Generally speaking, our rule...
If it's like a really big thing, we like to talk about it first.
Yes, we do like to talk about it first.
You have to talk about it
We do have to... We like to talk about it first.
I don't know. Maybe we can do a whole nother podcast on that. Polarity.
By the time they're watching this episode, they'll have seen the episode I did. I'm pretty sure this is last episode for them. That I did with Yehuda Kamen on, he's a polarity coach, and it was a really interesting conversation. And
okay, buzzword. If you want to know, you gotta go do the work. You gotta go check it out. Whoever's making this is also the same idea. Whoever's making the money at the time, winning the bread, as they say, doesn't change our outlook on sharing our wealth equally as one unit. that also ties into the polarity. You know, it's not like I'm the one making the money or you're the one making the money or it's my money, it's our collective wealth that we have to collectively decide what's the best way to use it, allocate it, savings, investments, purchases, whatever it is, making sure everyone's happy. And
we have our money meetings. We love Ramit Sethi. If you guys want to check him out, because he really changed our financial lives. That sounds very dramatic, but like just getting...
He provided a very smart framework for us to conscious spending plan.
Right. His conscious spending plan and just like his mentality of like teamwork with finances, especially because we've had so many, same thing with like our life changes every 6 months. We have so many different versions of our lives where like I was barely making any money. There are times you were barely making any money. There are times we were both making a substantial similar amount. There's so many different iterations of our financial dynamic. And so it is interesting to think about it in a polarity lens, but even just like practically wise, we are a team and we're sharing everything equally and we're building a life together. It doesn't always look equal in every moment at every stage, but
and also
that's okay.
He addresses how we inherit attitudes from our upbringing towards money, and a lot of it revolves around the uncertainty or lack of empowerment, I guess, disablement. I don't know what the word would be. But
disempowerment, victim mentality.
Sure. Any of those things that you may have been brought up with and either learned to act that way or are acting opposite that way, and then overcompensating.
It's the same thing people do relationships with their... Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's good.
It's the same thing with relationships when they're like, they want to be exactly what their parents are like, or they want to be exactly not what their parents are like. You know, when it comes to relationships, they're like, my parents had this type of dynamic and I never want to be that way. And they go like, they want to be in the opposite direction, and somehow they're still kind of attracting what they don't want because they're almost like so focused on not repeating.
Well, if you're only acting
their mistakes
from anecdotal evidence versus learning what the right way is going to be, like you're either acting or reacting, based on what happened to you versus really thinking about it and all your options.
Being intentional and conscious, like on your own. Yeah.
Next, we encourage each other to grow religiously, but only in the ways...
That wasn't in the reel either.
I guess we didn't have time for this many things. Well, this is one I wrote down.
Okay.
We encourage each other to grow religiously, but only in the ways we say we want to, without pressuring, criticizing, or calling out areas where we aren't perfect. We aren't perfect.
Newsflash.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That is a good point, and that was not included in the reel. We don't use that.
You don't. There's no like religious. What's it called?
Shaming, scolding, criticism.
Yeah, any of those things. Guilt tripping.
Yeah, we really don't even have that many conversations about spirituality in that sense. Individual spirituality through that lens of like, you should be doing this, or it's more of like it's between you and God. That's my. That's usually,
we encourage each other though. Like
right,
I said,
we want to grow. We want to grow individually and
in the
together.
Ways that we are displaying that we would like to, and asking each other for support.
Yeah, we're very encouraging of the things we each want to like try to do more, or be better at, or add into our lives. But yeah, there's never really conversations like that are blaming or shaming or like in the negative sense of spirituality.
Yeah, we give each other our own space because we both took our own unique ways to get where we are now, and we're still on it. So this is like a similar concept, but different. This one I did talk about, I think. I don't know how I skipped that last one, but since we were both passionate artistically,
that one you definitely did mention.
And it's
was that in the first one or the second one?
I think. I don't know, but it's a little more complicated, so we might need to dissect it. But we're both artistically passionate, and we often have strong opinions, so we end up choosing to work individually on our projects, but we know we can ask each other's opinions when we're ready, which we try to give with as little judgment or as neutrally as possible. So
we have different ways of expression. Yeah. We're both songwriters. We're both musicians. But we both sing. Like, there's a lot of things that we're both good at and we both love and enjoy, but we express ourselves differently to get there. So it's like, if we try to do something together, which I think we could build that skill of like, I think it would be really nice to write a song together and to get to that place where we feel like we could. I think it's possible. It just takes a lot of time. Like people who are doing songwriting as a living and they're like going in rooms every day and like writing, I think we would be it would take us 2 days to like get to the point where we really knew how to work together. I think we have that ability. I just think that we don't give ourselves that time because the little interactions we've had where you've given me feedback on my songs or I've given you feedback and like maybe we've had an argument 5 minutes before or whatever, you know, the kids are screaming, like life is life. And so we have giving each other feedback, especially in the lens of like, that's not fully artistic and supportive, could cause more argument. So like I think we've shied away from doing that, but I also think we could get to a place where we are able to work together more, but we're just not there yet at this point.
Yeah, and
so
the current like unspoken rule is like we just kind of work individually and we'll show each other what we've been working on when we're proud
like
of
you'll
it.
just share the songs that you wrote and like you'll play them for me and I'll appreciate them without it being like an artistic discussion of
like I'm not asking you for your input
you're right, exactly.
on how to change things, and you're not asking me for it's more like this is what I did and you can appreciate it, and then we do.
Yeah.
But it's less like collaborative.
Same thing with work stuff. I feel like you just asked me, can I help you? Do you want me to help you edit this thing that I'm working on? And I'm like, I know at this point I don't think it would be helpful, but there are other work things that I've had you, like you helped me design my 8 Steps to Marriage Readiness, like the graphics of that. You pretty much did the whole thing. You helped me go through my ultimate clarity checklist and review all the quiz questions. And like we went through everything and you were telling me like how to better phrase things. And,
because that's very technical in terms of like grammar and syntax,
so I think it's
which I am more passionate about. You don't necessarily care as much about that as much as the content. So it worked out well there.
Yeah, so like we're using each other's skills in that sense, but like very intentionally.
If we both have the strength, then it's maybe not a good idea because it's like different styles.
If we both have the same strength that like could be butting heads, The other one, which I did have in the reel, was for conflict resolution, that I think we've gotten to the place where we realize that in the moment it's better not to have the whole discussion. Like if we get into an argument, we're not going to sit down right now, even if we have time. They're not going to sit down for 30 minutes and discuss what it's about and what it's connected to and all of that, because we're usually not. We're too like heated, you know, like don't go to sleep angry. So like we're completely the opposite of that, and I actually think that's terrible advice.
Which is that you shouldn't go to sleep angry.
Yeah, you should go to sleep angry, and you can hopefully have some sort of reassurance, which I think we usually do. We try as soon as as close as possible to the conflict. We try to do some kind of reassurance of like, I love you, we're on the same team, like we'll talk about it, you know, like just to like have a good rest of the day, or even day or two sometimes, because life with 2 little kids. And then when we get to the point of being able to discuss it, we go more in detail and like talk about it and like actually resolve the feelings, make a plan for the future, etc. But we don't really resolve things in the moment. What?
Yeah, I mean, if things are not getting better and you're really tired, it's probably only going to get worse.
Exactly. I think it's really silly. It's like, don't go to sleep angry, but it's like, you're going to have a spiraling conversation. You're going to stay up late. You're going to be worse off the next day, and you're still going to be mad. So it's like, I don't think that's good advice. I think that if there is some way of cooling it down, I understand the concept of like, you don't want to go to bed like really upset at each other, but like, that's life. It's better to go to bed upset and say, listen, I love you. We'll talk in the morning. Like, let's just like put this aside for now. Hopefully, if we could get to that place.
If you could get there, but
not always could we get there.
There's no one rule. There's no set way, but we definitely.
But yeah, that's the way we approach conflict resolution at this point. It's an unspoken rule that we don't have the discussion at the time. We reassure each other as best as possible in the moment, and then have the discussion later.
And this also just depends on how cool-headed you can be, and how hot-headed you might be. And everyone's going to be know themselves. So obviously this might be different for you, but that's why it's an unspoken rule, and this is how we do it. And my last bit here is I don't make any plans until all your plans are more or less set and scheduled.
Did you say that in the reel?
I don't know if I said it, but either way. And
I was kind of disagreeing with it.
You always know your plans ahead of time. It's very practical. Just the fact that
because
by the time I'm ready,
by the time he's ready to make plans, it's 2 hours before the plans.
Okay.
So I'm not. I don't do things so in advance. I do things at most a week in advance. And for you, that's very advanced. So
that is the future.
I guess you end up working around my
right. So,
things that I have scheduled.
For whatever reason, an unspoken rule is usually I'm checking to see what you have going on when I make plans, and you usually don't have to check with me when you make plans.
Because you don't have them yet.
Exactly.
This episode is going to come out right after, the week after we're there. I think.
So we will have been going on a trip.
At this point, we will have already been to Florida.
And we had a great time.
Yeah. Good prediction and manifesting. This is the first time we're leaving. Oh, okay. So we're going with the kids.
Florida's the worst.
Don't tell your parents because
I grew
we're
up
going
in
to
Florida. And it's not.
I feel like we've talked about your hate for Florida.
Distance makes the heart grow fonder. Now that we are far away, I'm like, I guess I could go back.
No, we didn't visit in a while, and your parents
December.
visited a lot recently. In the past couple of years of us living in Vegas, they visited us quite a few times, and we have not visited.
And the
at
restaurant scene, the kosher restaurant scene has flourished. So
that's secretly why
that
we're
is
going. No, I'm kidding.
That's a big part of why we're going.
But we are leaving the kids with your parents for one night, and this is the first night that we're going to be away from them in years. First time ever from Leora. And so we're really excited. So we're doing a little
gonna do a little getaway, anniversary,
staycation,
birthday, whatever.
Anniversary. It's our anniversary.
I said
trip.
that.
And birthday.
It's just whatever you can pack in.
Our anniversary was November 3rd, and we didn't celebrate. And we were thinking this is going to be a really good. This is mid-December, but it's fine. Little mini staycation, nice hotel, dinner, just like.
If you have any recommendation for good activities, we'll check after because it's going to be useless to us because we already did it. But you can see if you guessed what we did.
I'm also going to do, hopefully, like a client meetup because I have actually quite a few clients in Florida. So I'm excited for that. And I also was hired to have like a speaking gig. So I'm excited about that. So like there's stuff going on. I have friends to see. I'm excited. It's going to be fun because it's going to be like Hanukkah, some work, fun things.
Going to take the kids to the zoo.
Yeah, we don't have a zoo here. We're going to go to the zoo.
It's messed up.
We're going to do our staycation and it's going to be fun. Little change of scenery.
Yeah, and the weather better be good.
It'll be good.
Or it's going to be a long time before we go back.
It'll be good. You're saying in terms of rainy or not too hot?
Like hot and humid.
It's always humid. It's gonna.
Well, I guess my skin could use a little humidity after all this desert dryness.
Yes, I think we really.
I guess I can afford a little bit of humidity
in your life for a couple weeks. Yeah.
Anyways, that's the life update.
Yeah.
We got plans. We got dances going on. Dancing. Maybe we should do like one of those dancing reels.
We have some guys. Check out my Instagram. I definitely posted some updates about like the dances that we're learning. We learned tango. Well, this is all basics. Obviously, we're amateur, beginner level, but
imitating that dance move.
Oh, we also did the Dancing with the Stars challenge. We could do better, but you didn't let me practice more and more.
So difficult.
Behind the scenes, guys, he was hard to work with. You were a hard dance partner. If you were my partner in Dancing with the Stars, I would have some complaints.
I would have said pick a different move.
It was the Dylan and Daniela lift with like the, if you know, you know. So we did a little attempt. It was kind of half decent. Yeah, and that's not what we learned in our dancing lesson, but that was fun to try. And we've been a little bit on a Dancing with the Stars kick lately, and that was like also what propelled us into doing our dancing lessons because we've been talking about it for years, but we never actually did it, and then now we did it.
I'm happy for Robert.
You were rooting for him to win.
Everyone loves him. There's nothing not to love. He's great.
Well,
and he's very good
once
dancer.
Whitney was voted off very shockingly, I was thinking Alex was going to win, even though obviously Robert was great and deserved to win. But like it was a very, it was a close call there.
Winners, male
exactly.
and
we were saying that. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, we have to have our own Dancing with the Stars review podcast elsewhere.
If you watch till the end of this podcast, comment something Dancing with the Stars related so we know.
Yes, that's a good idea. Great idea.
That. You're always watching your YouTube videos and they're always like influencers always saying that, vloggers, whatever.
If you stick around to the end, comment the word whatever so that we know that
thought it was a silly idea until now.
No, it is a good idea. I feel like I've done that at different points when I used to do vlogging. I feel like I've done that at points because it's interesting to know, like you see that there's views and you don't know like what if they even saw half of the things you said. And so like, you don't know what's relevant for next time. And like, if people are actually following the story. So this obviously doesn't need that level of recognition, but like, they don't need to have heard this. Anyway, I'm rambling.
Wrapping up.
Well, thank you for tuning into this episode, watching, listening, whatever your favorite platform is. Make sure to give this podcast your review, like a rating.
6 thumbs.
5-star rating. Review. What?
I don't know what they use for podcasts.
And share this episode with a friend who you think will find it beneficial or entertaining, and just spread the love. So thanks for watching, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for tuning in to the Marriage Magnet podcast. I'm so glad you're here, and make sure you're subscribed on YouTube and following on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss an episode. I would love to know what you're enjoying most about this show, or which topic you'd like to see covered next. So please leave me a comment or DM me on Instagram at Nechama Phillips. If you found value in this conversation, please leave this show a review and share it with a friend who can benefit. This way we can reach more people and empower more women with these important messages, because you deserve the best quality relationship with yourself and others. I'll see you in the next episode.